In today's video, I'm going to share with you quite simply how to get through the golf ball. So if at impact you feel like you are backing up, you've got too much pressure onto your back foot, maybe you end up with a finish position like this where you get a lot of pressure in your lower back, you're probably misstriking it. You could hit fat, you could hit thin from there. If you get the ball airborne, it's probably going too high and losing you some distance. And I'm going to share with you just two really simple things to do and check to make sure that you get that pressure over to your lead foot at impact. And that is the real critical part here. And the first one is ball position. Don't get that ball too far back in your stance. A lot of golfers start getting lazy and they move the ball further and further back in the stance. Personally, I don't think there is one ball position for each golfer out there. So I get often, where should I play a ball position for a 7-iron? Where should I play it for a 6-iron? I don't think there is one ball position. I think you've got to be dictated by your ball flight. Do you want to hit it high? Do you want to hit it low? Are you trying to draw it? Are you trying to fade it? Where's your swing path? What are your tendencies? I don't think there is one position for all. But if I was going to suggest to golfers one way or another, I'd say more forwards than back. So if you're going to go either way, I would move the ball a little forward. So we generally, most coaches or beginner golfers, they're being told, aren't they? 7-iron to sandwich, let's go century stance and gradually moving forwards from that point. But if you're going to do anything, I would prefer the ball moving a little bit more forwards in your stance than that, rather than moving back in your stance. The only time I would play the ball back in my stance would be more of a bump and run, chip and run type of shot, a punch shot under the wind or under tree branches. That's the only time I'm really going to knock that ball back of centre. So I wouldn't even go back in your stance for the short shots, for the wedges. It just encourages players to be very lazy on their back foot, not getting through the golf ball. And as a real simple exercise, what I love golfers to do is I would set up with a normal ball position. So I've got here a 6-iron, okay? So just forwards of centre of my stance. But I've placed another ball way up, almost opposite my lead toe here. So it's even forwards of where I play a driver. If I knock that back ball away, to hit that front golf ball, I've really got to shift my pressure. I've really got to get onto that lead side. And it'll take me into the second part in this very, very simple video. So try this as an exercise, just on the driving range or practice area. Ball way forwards, keep the club back. I don't want you leaning forwards to compensate. Keep the club where it would normally be. Hit that front ball position. Now what you're going to start to notice and feel is how much pressure, you could think of it as weight for sure, is over onto that lead foot. So it's really going to help you get through the golf ball if you're someone who's been backing up, losing distance, maybe not compressing the golf ball. When we're talking about compressing the golf ball, all we're talking about is actually taking some loft off the golf club. A lot of inefficient golfers are adding on loft or not, or perhaps hitting it with the same loft the club starts with. The majority of good golfers out there are slightly de-lofting their irons. They're actually turning a 6 into a 5, a 7 into a 6, etc. by about 4 degrees per club. So ball way forwards is a great drill to get through the golf ball onto that lead foot. And my second point here is shift early, not late. And this is a real critical part that the majority of golfers get wrong. Okay, they move too far back this way behind the golf ball because they're trying to move their mass or their weight rather than pressure. So I want to feel pressure on the inside of my right thigh, for me as a right-handed golfer, early in my backswing. I don't want it to move to the outside of my foot. I don't want to see a huge lateral movement off the ball. I want to feel very early. But actually most good golfers, by the time they get to the top of the backswing and they're about to start their downswing, their pressure is back to about 50-50. With a lot of golfers, they're still back over here at 90-95%. And they just have got so much work to do to get back to their lead foot. So it's a real simple exercise, and you may well have seen this before, but it works great. I would exaggerate, and this is exaggerating that motion, but do a simple step exercise. So move your feet just about 1 or 2 clubs width apart. And as the club goes back, at about halfway back, where your hands are around hip height, I want you to step your lead foot and slam it into the ground. Imagine you're sort of crushing a Coke can in front of you. So we're really starting to shift early, not late. We're really feeling onto that lead foot. I don't want you to move too much mass over here. So I want you to feel like we're a lot more centered. And as the arms are going back, we're actually already starting to apply some pressure into that lead foot. So you could hit some. I'm just going to do a quick simple step exercise. So I'm going to move my lead foot towards my trail foot. For momentum's sake, I'm going to start with the club up and past the golf ball. And I'm just going to feel like I shift very early. So I'm going to shift into my trail foot, but on the inside of my thigh, not the outside of my foot. I'd feel like I'm going to lose balance with my feet this close. And I'm going to step that lead foot towards the target before my arms get to halfway back. Now you may struggle. I hit that great, a little left to target, but that contact was exactly what I was looking for. And for me, for a 6-iron, I mean, that's pretty huge. I got it out there. I know it's left of target, but that was a 190 6-iron. I guess it had a bit of roll on it. It flew close to 180. So I normally fly this close to 170, 175. It's a 180 max finish. So I gained about 10. I gained a little bit of ball speed, so I'm up to 123 there. That's not the real purpose for this, but it will help you produce more speed. Ultimately, we're talking about improving your contact. And golfers who are on their back foot, they hit poor contacts, heavy and thin. So get onto that lead foot early, and I know it's going to help your game. Now, I'm not suggesting you do that step drill when you get onto the golf course, but I want you to sense, first of all, check ball position. Second of all, sense that by the time we're at the top of the backswing, our pressure is closer to 50-50. Now, for you to be 50-50, you might actually feel like you're even more onto your lead foot. And if you got a chance to get onto a forced platform that measures where your pressure is, do it. It's a real eye-opening exercise that I find when I'm coaching golfers, they're astounded by where their pressure is, because it's quite often different to the feel. So that step exercise is a real good one. And I would do some practice swings where you just feel like you start to shift early into that lead foot. Don't wait too long. I hope that video helps. If it does, smash the thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more content just like this.